Did you miss a flight this week? Was a flight delayed? Are you going out of your mind? Well, here's a thought for you. If you have suffered this week, I'm here to tell you, suffering is optional. I tell you that all the time. And when you take my advice, the suffering is going to go down. The misery index is going to subside a little bit. It's going to be a good thing. You okay, puppy? Yeah, she's good. Anyway, we miss our animals when we travel, and there's a reason for it. They make us feel so much better, and just petting your dog is a form of mindfulness. But right now, I want to talk to you about your lack of travel insurance. If you did not buy travel insurance, I have a story for you that is going to blow your mind. I was on a flight from Tahiti to Los Angeles, and I was with my true love, and we took off, and an hour after we were flying at 35 or 40,000 feet above the sea, we found out that 2 of the 3 engines on our flight were on fire. So we were flying on one engine, our plane is on fire, and the pilot comes on and tells us about the situation. Now, some of the people who weren't sleeping, because this was a late night flight, it probably took off at 10 and we were to arrive the next morning. Anyway, he came on, told us the situation, and said, what we're going to do, we're going to dump our fuel, and then we're going to fly back to Tahiti. There's no way that we can do anything different if we want to live. So he said, we're going to hope for the best. This is the plan. I'll keep you informed. So a lot of people got very upset. I would say I got upset. Sure, I was upset. My whole life was finally going in the direction that I wanted it to go, and I was really sad. I thought, oh my gosh, I went off to Tahiti to go on this magnificent trip and celebrate my true love's birthday. I got engaged. He gave me an engagement ring, and my life is fabulous, and now I'm probably going to die. This sucks, right? So I'm just hoping for the best, praying like a maniac. A lot of people on the flight were crying, praying, you name it, because we had a long way back. We had a long time to think about this. We had an hour to get back. Somehow or other, we landed on foam. I think you've seen this in movies like Die Hard or whatever. Anyway, it was dramatic. It was kind of horrible. I'm glad my best friends were not there, the little kids. I'm glad. Of course, I had different kids back then. It was 19 years ago. But it was really devastating. We landed, we got out of the plane, and I had no place to go. Dumb us, we didn't buy travel insurance. So I had to lay down on the ground in an open air airport in Papayete, and I just took a mat off of one of the benches, laid on the ground, and just tried to go to sleep. And I'll never forget, this myna bird came up and he kept talking to me. You know these little black myna birds that talk, they can actually learn how to say words. Anyway, native to Tahiti, and this was really a rough time. It really was. And the next day, there were no flights, and the next day there were no flights. And we were just hoping that this plane would get fixed. Of course, a lot of people didn't want to get back on this plane. It was an old plane. It was a charter plane, and whenever you're on a charter plane, you got to be careful because a lot of those flights are old planes. They are. So this was one of them. We talked to the pilot. He said, I'm going to get back on this plane if we fix it. I will let you know honestly. Don't worry. I'm going to be totally honest with you. And I remember this was Omni Air. Omni Air's not in business anymore. Probably a reason for that. Anyway, I was not comfortable. I would say that that was a lot of suffering. And another time when I landed at midnight at an airport, couldn't get on a flight. The flight had already left. I was just a little bit late, missed the connection to get back to the United States. And you know what I did? I had travel insurance. And I went across the street to the Ritz-Carlton, where I got a very nice room with incredible linens and a mini bar and a big bathtub where I took a bath, and I just had a little party for an hour or two, went to sleep, got up, went to the gym. It was magnificent. The Ritz-Carlton in Johannesburg, South Africa has a fabulous gym. And then I went to brunch, and then I went back to the airport for my 3 o'clock flight. It was wonderful. So, totally covered by travel insurance versus totally screwed. So, get yourself some travel insurance, because the benefits are usually $500, $750, $1,000. You can easily get yourself a hotel room. You will feel much, much better after a good night's sleep, and you'll be glad you did. It's money well spent, I can tell you. I have a lot of these stories. Another time I'll tell you about the cruise ship that crashed. That was a good one too. In fact, you might have seen it on the Travel Channel or on Discovery or something like that. Anyway, just remember what I'm telling you. Check out JetSetPH.D.com. That's my website. And you can get a quote for some travel insurance that actually pays. Because I've only found 2 companies that pay out when you ask them to pay on a legitimate claim. The other ones will ask you to submit, resubmit until they wear you down, and then you don't get your benefits. So go reputable, go smart, go to JetSetPH.D.com and get some travel insurance. You will be glad you did. Whether it's a flight cancellation, a trip delay, you get rerouted, whatever it is, you're covered. In fact, if it's medical, you'll be glad that you have $1 million to take care of your health issue or your accident. Very important, very important. And of course, baggage. There are all these other benefits too, too many to name. But go on my website and you're going to find this, and you can get a quote, and then you can decide how much you don't want to suffer, because right now hundreds of flights are being canceled every day. There were over 100 just in the city that I'm in right now, just today. Terrible. So, suffering is optional. Life is what you make it.